Hello, YouTube. This is the Habitual Line Stepper. I hope this video has found you well. I hope that you are at peace. If you're at peace, I hope you maintain your peace. And if you're not at peace, I hope you are adamantly pursuing your peace. I want to talk about mastering yourself. I mentioned this slightly in the last video, and I just want to bring it up as a main topic on this video because I think it's important. The reason why this video is about mastering yourself is because I think this is a key thing that most people skip in life, and I think it's going to save everybody a lot more frustration because it's dealing with what you can handle, what you can control, which is yourself. You have to learn to master everything about yourself. And I'm not saying strive for perfection, I'm saying strive for understanding. Understanding where you're weak at, understanding where you're strong at, and understanding how to build from there. There's a lot of things that are beyond our control. Politics, certain financial policies, other people, relationships. There's a lot of things that you cannot control. There's too many moving parts. You can't possibly handle all those moving parts because some of those things have nothing to do with you. It's totally independent of who you are. You have to learn what your capabilities are and master those. Control your emotions, control your thoughts. You have to understand to do those things is power and it's self care. We're so worried about what's outside of us and what's happening to us, but we're not thinking about what we need to do in order to hold those things at bay. And one of those things is you have to understand you have power. And your power is not necessarily limited to the degree that you think it's limited to. But it takes a lot of building up. It takes a lot of hard looks at yourself. And a lot of people cannot look in the mirror and show and really look and see where they're deficient at. Really need to see what they need to work on. But you do have some control. I hate to break it down to just financial, but I'm gonna use that as one of the examples that I'm gonna have in this video. And number one is if you have yourself together financially, and I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire and all this stuff. I'm saying if you have yourself together financially, where you are able to save a good amount of money and you don't have any debt and you have some investments, you give yourself a power, not necessarily infinite power, but you do have power. And you have a power of options. Some things you don't have to deal with when you're financially secure. There's certain things you don't have to deal with. I look at money like this, and I read this somewhere, and I wish I could give the person credit, but it's been years. But in there, it stated, money. I don't want money for the things that I can buy. I want money so I do not have to tolerate intolerable people and intolerable situations. It gives you the flexibility. You can walk away from stuff. Let's say that you decide you want to take a trip somewhere. Um, and it's out of the country. And let's say that there was a situation where you needed to get back to the U.S. Either something happened in that country or something happened in the U.S. in time, and money was a factor. At that point, it's just an inconvenience of having to schedule that out, as opposed to if you didn't have the money. First of all, you wouldn't even be out the country. But let's say that you somehow you made it out of the country, but you need to make it back because something happened, a medical emergency with a loved one, something happened in that country where there's some political turmoil that popped up. You're able to fly yourself out. get a plane ticket and get the hell out of there and get back to what's familiar. And maybe that was like a little extreme situation, but my point is you can walk away from things. You really can. You can put yourself in a situation where you do not have to deal with BS. If it's at the job, and all of a sudden you feel like you're not valued, but you have saved up money, resources. You don't have any debts. So you don't have to worry about your car loans. You don't have to worry about mortgages. You don't have to worry about credit card debt. You don't have to worry about student loans. You have none of that stuff to worry about. It's just you. Even if you did not have a great amount of money saved, if you have the ability to do it, please do. But even if you don't, the fact that you have no debt means that you can find another job and that will sustain you. Maybe not pay the same amount of money, but it will sustain you until you find something better. More so than somebody who constantly have creditors knocking down the door trying to get their money. You put yourself in a better situation. In relationships, master yourself. Arguments, I don't argue anymore. Because I know because I've mastered myself to the point where I realize what point I'm coming from. Now I'm open to, like, if there's facts that counter my argument or my position, I should say, then yes, I'm going to listen to that because if it's valid information, I will alter my position. But when it comes to actual arguing, no, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to let you take me out of my character because I've mastered myself. I realized, how important it is to have peace of mind. I'm not going to allow somebody to pull me out of my character. I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you about a point that need not be argued, especially if I know that what I'm saying is factual. Because eventually if you keep pushing the point, like if the person's arguing with you about a point, like, ice is cold, but they're stating otherwise, then eventually that fact is going to come true. Either somebody else is going to make a point to them that's more clear, or they're going to find out on their own. But I don't argue with people because I've mastered myself in the sense that my emotions and what I see is valuable, worth arguing about, is not what most people are going to argue with me about. Most people don't want to see your point of view. I try my best to come from a position of actual facts, and look at things as they are, rather than from an emotional kind of viewpoint. But having said all that, master yourself. Don't allow your emotions to get a hold of you, where somebody can bring you to a totally different self. Something that's totally against or totally opposite of who you are. Don't allow people to do that. Don't allow people to have that kind of control over you. Be strong in a sense. Master it. Don't allow a boss, or like I said, a family member to draw you out. And I call it calling off. If anybody's into football, it's like drawing you off sides. They get this hard cadence, and next thing you know, you draw off sides, and you suffer for it as a penalty. Don't allow people to do that. Don't allow people to get in your headspace. And the best way to do that is, first of all, know your position, and then know their position. A lot of people will come from an ignorant position. A lot of people are in it for just the fight, not necessarily for any kind of like resolution, but the fact that you have some people out there who are just agitators and they just want to create drama. Don't play that game. When you have had a chance to master yourself and you partake in things that you enjoy, that brings you peace, you learn that whatever they're talking about, whatever they got going on, it really doesn't matter. It really does not. And you have something to lose now. You have taken the time to master yourself and build yourself up to the point where, you have this confidence, you have resources, you have a better thought process, and to have somebody else just rip that apart, it's no longer going to happen because you realize I got something to lose over this person. I'll bow out. I'll be like, all right, you got it. Even though I know you don't have it, but I'll be like, you got it. You want to go ahead and argue a point that, like I said, really doesn't matter. You just in it for the fight. Hey, I'm not going to fight with you. Just believe what you want to believe. Do what you want to do. As long as it doesn't affect me over here, you can do what you want to do. But again, it's mastering yourself. Don't allow people to cloud up your space, cloud up your vision of who you are, cause you doubt. Know yourself. Master your thought pattern. Master how you are emotionally. Because a lot of people get into bad situations because they're emotionally immature. They allow their anger to get the best of them. Then they run off at the mouth, and then they get into a situation that that they didn't need to be in. That's going to be detrimental. It could be you could reverberate for a long time. The consequences could be great. And that's all because they allow somebody to make them so mad where they got emotional and they're no longer rational. Don't allow that to happen. Build yourself up, master yourself. Once you've done that, you will realize that what you have going on is far more precious than what they got going on. And if they want to go down that field, if they want to go down that road of, okay, I'm going to, all I want to do is destroy and cause havoc, you have the option not to deal with that. And that annoys the hell out of them because they realize they can't get to you. When they see that you got your stuff going on and you're at peace and you don't have to really deal with them, oh yeah, your understanding of the situation supersedes anything that they got going on. Anything they got going on. When it comes to your health, master your health. I know some of us have conditions that we were born with. Some of us have conditions that are chronic, and I feel for you. Some of us, we're just not working out. We're not eating right, and we know we're not eating right, and we know we're not working out. But you do have to master yourself where you're at. You have to eat well or eat better, and you have to do some level of activity if you're physically able to. Me personally, I've learned there's some things I needed to work on. I'm getting older now. I have a vision of who I want to be. And I decided a while ago I did not want to be old and crippled and sick and broke. I didn't want to be any of those things. Now the crippled part, that's all, depending on, sometimes you get in an accident or something like that. But as far as sick, broke, and what else did I say? Sick, broke, and old. I don't want to be that. We're all going to age. We don't have to necessarily get old. I don't want to have my cognitive ability slowed, and I don't want my physical ability slowed. I want to be able to be a healthy older man who looks good, who feels good, who does not have to take medication in order to function. And if you do, you want to minimize the amount of medications that you have by doing what you can do. And I'm good with that. If I know that I'm eating good, eating the healthy stuff, if I know I'm working out, if I know I'm getting my rest, all those things, and I'm mastering those things, I can live with anything else that comes. Because one thing about that, you can have the most healthiest lifestyle you want, and then there's some underlying thing going on. But at least I gave myself a fighting chance. I mastered myself. Everything else is beyond my control. That's what I'm saying when you come to mastering yourself. You can't control how that boss treats you. You can't control how that spouse treats you. You can't control how your parents treat you. You can't. You don't know. What illness you may have. That or accident that may happen. But you do what you can do, and you live with the rest. Like I said, if you put yourself in a position where you have mastered the things that are in your control, how you spend, the people who you spend time with, your health, making sure that you're doing the right things there. Having those bases covered will put you in a far greater position than if you were negligent in all those things. I'm saying focus on those things that you can control, and don't and everything else, let them fall where they may. You don't have to deal with a lot of stressors that people are dealing with if you make sure that what you can control is controlled. Don't give your control and your status to somebody else. Don't allow that to happen. Stay with what you know and what you can control, because the unknown is just that you have no idea what that entails, and to some degree you don't want to know. It keeps it simple when you know the things that you know and what you can control and what's in the palm of your hands. So quit looking at what people are doing to you or what circumstances have done to you and making that the main focus of what you're going through. I understand that it can be hard. I understand that it can cause a lot of stress. I understand all those things. I understand it's hurtful. I understand all those things. But the fact of the matter is, those things are far beyond your control, because you're talking about other entities, other situations, other people. And you can't control that. You can't. When you give yourself focus on the things that you can do or you can control, the things that you can walk away from, because everything doesn't require a fight. Everything doesn't require for you to have a verbal communication with people, physical confrontations with people. A lot of things don't have, every circumstance doesn't require that. Sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes walking away is golden. There's more power in that, because it shows control. It shows that you've mastered these things. It shows that, hey, okay, you got it. Doesn't mean they won. And it doesn't mean you lost. It doesn't mean it means that you have the ability to assess a situation and say to yourself, you know what, this doesn't serve me. Because I've worked so hard on myself and developing myself, I'm not going to allow this thing to tear me down. I'm going to do what I know I can do, and then I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. It is a form of self-care, and that's what you and that's what you deserve. Don't, like I said, don't go down this slippery slope of worrying about other things. I'm telling you, you will do yourself a huge disservice. Master yourself. Learn what you need in this life. Learn how to attain those things and work on those things, and you will find yourself a lot further ahead than most people. Most people want to point the blame. And I'm not saying that these blames are not valid, but I'm saying, what good is it just to identify what the blames are, and you're doing nothing? This is happening to me because this, and this, or this person's doing this. And those all things may be true. At the end of the day, it's still occurring. At the end of the day, it comes down to what you're going to do to handle that situation. What are you going to do to better yourself, to put you in a better light, to make you feel better about yourself, to boost your self-esteem, to boost your vision, get you closer to your goals? What are you doing? So, again, learn to master yourself. Learn to be the better you, the best you that you can be. I'm not saying perfect. I'm not saying that. No one's going to be perfect. But I'm saying put that effort in, put that work in. Get your hands dirty. Understand who you are as a person first. Where you're strong at, where your limits are. Because again, if you know your limits, you know, okay, at this point, let me bow out. Let me move beyond this, because it's exceeded what my capacity is. I'm not going to deal with this. Provide yourself with options. Master those things. So with that being said, I'm going to end it here. If you got anything from this video, please like, subscribe, comment. I hope to go live one day because I would love to interact with you. With that being said, pursue your peace with all that you have. Pursue it, pursue it, pursue it. Thank you. Let's get it.